Hey guys, thanks for joining me again. This is Tim's Turbos on the YouTube channel. I've been getting a pile of calls these days for new turbochargers leaking. And the reason is that new turbochargers don't leak. It's always an improper setup. I've yet, in the entire time of getting turbochargers, new and used, have found a faulty brand new turbocharger with the wrong oil seals in it. So I'm going to go over the basic stuff. I got a bearing housing that I sliced in half so you could see the whole oil passage and where everything goes. Now if you look in here, everything red is basically where all the oil pressure is going to be. So this is the cross center section, this is the oil feed line, and this is where it feeds into both the journal bearings. Right on the edge here, there's a gap between the oil seal, which is the blue part on each side, and a piston ring sits in here. So when the oil fills up the bearings, it comes off the bearings and drops off into this void. This is just a void filled with just gravity. There's no pressure whatsoever on it. So once it falls off the shaft, there's really no pressure touching the seals whatsoever. So I'm going to pop in a shaft here so you can kind of see where the oil feeds in. Here's your piston rings right here. And again, once it comes out of there, it drops off. The same with on the thrust parts. Once everything comes off there, it drops directly back out. So there's no need for any special seals besides a piston ring. Like I've said in many of the other posts before, all these rings are designed to keep dirt, dust, and exhaust out of the turbocharger and out of your oil system on your car. So the biggest point here is to tell you why your brand new turbocharger is leaking. Well, one thing, the oil return line is the biggest culprit. If you have your turbocharger caulked in any direction over about 15 to 20 degrees, you're going to start pooling up here, and that's going to get to the actual oil seal on each side, and it's going to fill up the cartridge too fast so that it can't drain properly. The most popular fittings are the cant't fittings for the down pipe or the down drain piece. And as you can see if I can get it close to the camera here, it's completely the wrong size. It's only a 1/2 inch diameter when you really should have 3/4 inch diameter in there. This is going to cause an oil problem because it's going to fill the cavity too fast again. The proper system is to actually use a pipe system, and you can use some type of tubing and clamps. Pretty much almost all OEM manufacturers use tubing. It's very rare that you're going to see fittings on there, and if they are, they're going to be 12A in size and plus. As you can see in there, a pipe fitting matches exactly the port. This is going to be the best way to flow all your oil. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. So all these fittings that you buy at every shop in the world, they're wrong. Do not use these. They're just going to cause you problems. This is the reason most people use oil restrictors, to correct a wrong problem. When you first put on your turbocharger, you want to make sure that this oil feed line is always at 12 o'clock. You push it over 20 degrees this way or 20 degrees that way, you're going to pool up like we talked about over here, and you're going to have oil problems coming out the turbine or the compressor seal. That goes the same way with saying manifolds that are built incorrectly, pitching forward or pitching back towards the turbine. Now this is set up for journal bearing style turbochargers, which use a lot more oil. You can get away with a lot of this by using ball bearing turbos in different directions. Doesn't mean it's set up right, but you can get away with a lot more angle on that. So any of these fittings, this is a 10AN, this is going to be too small. You can't even put your finger through it. All the 3/4 stuff, you can put your whole finger through them. This is a 12AN fitting. If you're going to use AN, this is the one to use. There's plenty of manufacturers that do it. They cost more money, but it's cheaper in the long run because you're not going to be replacing turbos for no reason. Hope all that helps out. Thanks.